I'm kind of keen now just to set the scene on where you think we are. Is there a bit of a concern about a second wave from the sovereign debt crisis in Europe, or how do you think things are settling?
I think that we're in the stage where we're through the worst of this, but we're now running at several different speeds around the world. And I guess the fortunate thing is that that this region that we're in is the best performing of the world's major economic blocs.
But if you had to really put your finger on it, what would be some key lessons that we've taken away? What did we really learn out of this?
Well, I guess the thing is we never learn from history. You know, this will happen again. But I think that when you look at the various crises that have affected the world, they generally result from a lack of discipline. They generally result when one industry or another, and in this particular case it was the banking industry, that lost touch with its fundamentals, with its principles, with its values. And I think that if there's anything we should learn, values are so important, and they've got to be constant, they've got to be passed on. But I think, you know, when you look at what do you learn from a crisis, you learn to be flexible, which sometimes goes out of the window in business as usual. You have to be, I think, innovative, and we should be innovative all the time. And I think we're not, you know, we often don't use enough innovation. And you have to be very brave. You have to hold your line with what you think is right. And I think people don't realize the value of the banking system. You can't have a good economy, a well-functioning economy, without a strong, stable, and actually profitable banking system. When you're running a bank, and you know, I have the privilege to run, I think, a great institution, you have to think long-term. Banking is a long-term business, and you know, I say to the analysts and to the shareholders, look, earnings per share growth doesn't interest me, you know, quarter on quarter on quarter. What you should be looking at is what value is being added to the business over the 5, 10, 15-year period, because that is really where you get your return.
This is the Asian century, so what are your thoughts on what we could do better in order to increase our potential?
I think, you know, I think people just have to open their eyes a little bit more and think about what the opportunity is. I mean, there is no doubt that Australia's future is now completely linked to the well-being of the region of Asia, and that's very good news for Australia. It has decoupled itself from the effects of the US and Europe to an extent, and has recreated its trading partnerships into Asia. And that is where the growth is going to be this century. That is where it's all going to happen. And Australia is just going to tag along. It's going to be a huge benefit for this country. You have to understand that there are cultural differences, and things are of different relevance to different cultures, and there's no right way. You know, there are different ways of doing things, but it would be extraordinarily arrogant to presuppose that our way is the right way. And one of the things you need as a CEO is massive amount of energy. Yeah. You've got to have it, and you've got to just generate it constantly, otherwise, you know, you've got a problem. How
do you get your energy?
I don't know. It's just sort of Johnny Walker, probably. It is critical that you believe in your vision, you believe in what you're trying to achieve, and you believe, you know, you never have any doubt that you can get there. There are times when there are personal issues or the people issues, those softer issues, which actually become more important than anything else. And I didn't believe that would be possible early in my career. You know, I think I was much more of ruthless, just get it done and who cares.
That's a big lesson.
Oh yeah, you change, and you do change. And those crises do change you a lot, because you actually see the effects of what's going on. You know, you can see the effects on people. So yeah, I think I'm a better person for that, I must admit.
How do you fit a wife, 3 children, classic cars, golf and wine into your CEO role?
I gave up the golf. But it is hard. I mean, I guess the question there is life balance. And to be perfectly honest, to be if you're a CEO of a large company, you can't really have a life balance. Your life is about the business, but what you have to do is adjust that around your family and make sure that where you do have time, you give it as much as you can.
Well, you were talking about your performance at ANZ in relationship to improving the gender balance in the organisation, because there were very few women at the senior levels. She wants to know how that situation has changed since you came on board.
Well, of my management board, I had no women on it when I arrived, and we now have 4 out of 12. So I think that's pretty significant. I also have 7 country managers who are now women. So yeah, I think we're going the right way. We can do more. Yeah. There's no doubt. You know, this is a journey, but I think we've made pretty good progress on that.
Would you please thank Mike Smith from ANZ?